Greetings, R. Frederick Riddle, and this is another Christian News and Views, episode 185. And this is Friday recap. So let's get started. On Monday, Elon Musk decided to form a third party. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Anybody can form a third party. But to make a difference, that's another story. We're a two-party system, so um, I don't think we're going to hear a whole lot about that. We could, but it might make some noise. But I really don't think it's going to make a major difference. It can hurt, possibly, the Republican Party, although they say that historically speaking, that doesn't really happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. On Tuesday and then on Wednesday, I reported on U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. They were meeting, and so I'm joining the two together today because it's all about the same thing. And they met for two different times during that process, and to discuss Gaza, or Gaza rather, as Trump's Middle East envoy said, Israel and Hamas were closing their differences on a ceasefire deal. So that could be today or tomorrow for actors. It's still to do what they want to have a ceasefire deal by the end of the week. They spent about an hour, a little bit over an hour, I guess, in the Oval Office. No press access, so they could really get down to basics there. The two men also met for several hours during a dinner at the White House on Monday during Netanyahu's third U.S. visit since the president began his second term on January 20th. The prime minister also met with leaders of the House and leaders of the Senate. Now, he made this statement: "We have still to finish the job in Gaza, release all our hostages, eliminate and destroy Hamas's military and government capabilities." A little bit later, Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, said the issues keeping Israel and Hamas from agreeing had dropped to one from four. And he hoped to reach a temporary ceasefire agreement this week. So the week's still going on, and it could be as early as today. I didn't hear anything about it as of yesterday, but something could have happened. And so he made this statement: "We are hopeful that by the end of this week, we'll have an agreement that will bring us into a 60-day ceasefire. 10 live hostages will be released, 9 deceased will be released," Witkoff told reporters at a meeting of Trump's cabinet. "My opinion is the same as it's been right along. It looks like the current fighting in Gaza is coming to an end, plus there appears to be progress in the return of hostages. But I want to reiterate what I said before, what I said the other day. Neither President Trump nor any other leader in America or abroad can bring the war to a close. There's two wars involved here. The war in the Gaza Strip, yes, they can bring about a ceasefire. They might even bring about the elimination of Hamas. That war can be brought to an end, to a close. But the greater war, what is part of, started back in the days of Abraham and are still going on and will continue going on until Christ returns, and he will settle the issue. We kind of know how that'll go, but that's where it is. As far as the Bible is concerned, that issue will be resolved by the return of Jesus Christ. You have two peoples who trace their heritage back to Abraham, which is when the war, like I said, is when the war began. It will end when Christ returns and restores the kingdom of David. But speaking for myself, I'm all for ceasefires, pauses, and relative peace. My prayer is that such may be achieved through these talks as far as the Gaza war is concerned. Just remember, a final ending of the real war rests in God's hands. On Wednesday, I did Tuesday and Wednesday together. Then on Thursday, we had the Bible talk. And we had looked previously at God and his relationship to time. He has eternally existed from before time and will continue to exist after time. He created time. We live in time, which is the primary reason, although actually it's one of the primary reasons why scientists can't go back and see how things were. They can only go back as far as time allows them. They keep trying to add time. There's just not enough time. Throughout in Genesis 1:1, it says that God created the heavens and earth. Throughout the creation process, we read, God saw that it was good. And in Genesis 1:31, it reads, and God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. The evolutionist claims that there was a world of people created and destroyed in verse 2. That would mean death existed, and there would be fossils and other evidences of death. God could never, never call that good. Why? Well, forcing verse 2 to imply that God had created another earlier world and then destroyed it is simply foolish. The entirety of Genesis 1:2 paints the picture of stage one of creation. While it was probably only seconds in time, it is like God took a picture, you know, just to show us how it looked. There's nothing there, absolutely nothing, that teaches or hints at some evolutionary pre-civilization. But it does show that stage just before the Spirit of God began cooling the planet. It shows what I think, anyhow, and I believe this is what creationists believe, is that not water so much. There was water there, but I think it was boiling hot water. And I think there was a lot of lava and all the other very hot material. And the planet needed to be slowed down, needed to be cooled off, whatever. I wasn't there, didn't see it, neither were you. So we have to speculate. So there's just simply nothing there that talks about a pre-civilization. It's simply the first stage of creating the planet. The so-called gap theory that comes out of this evolutionary understanding of verse 2 came about because people wanted creation and evolution to have a common ground. That common ground does not exist. It will never be able to bring the two together. On the one hand, evolution, you have to have death. And that is something that did not come until after sin entered the world. So the first mention of death is in Genesis 4:8. On the other hand, you have the creationists. They have a pure world that God created, no death, no death at all of human life, plant life, any kind of life. It was there. Man ate vegetables. He did not eat meat at that time. So there was no death. So that doesn't exist. And the gap theory is just something that humanists and evolutionists don't even they laugh at the gap theory. Creationists also laugh at it. It just doesn't make any sense. Now, the humanists and evolutionists don't believe in God. And this is the absolute primary reason why they can never resolve the idea of all that took place at creation falling in to some formula. Time didn't even exist until God created it. You got to understand that. So when they go back billions and billions and billions and billions of years, they are just trying to add to the time that God added or created, but it's not there. And they cannot, there's not enough time that they can if God allowed them to extend time back as far as they want to go, they still would not have enough time for evolution to occur. Well, that's it for the recap. I hope you've been enjoying my broadcast. I do get comments once in a while about people on inquiries. Actually, with just I have one in mind that just recently came, who that watches not this particular podcast, but another podcast that I do, and this is something that I love doing. I enjoy doing it. I'm getting better. I think I'm getting better at it. You're the judge of that. I have three goals there all the time: to inform you, encourage you, and to inspire you. Every time you subscribe, if you're not subscribed now, if you subscribe, you are encouraging me that I'm on the right track, and I need to stick at it and keep doing it. I hope you do. I like having those who subscribe. If you don't subscribe but you follow, that's great too. And if, by the way, feel free to comment. You can either agree or disagree. As long as you keep it civil, that is not only permissible, it's encouraged. And I look for comments all the time, and I will either comment right there in the commentaries, comment section, but I may decide, oh, this belongs ought to be brought up into one of my episodes. So please do it. I do watch, I do look and see what's happening there. Well, you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode.